Sunday morning Lambton went to fishing in the weir, and he catched a fish upon his yoke he thought looked very queer. But what kind of fish it was, young Lambton couldn't tell, and he wasn't fast to carry it yem, so he hid it down the well. Wisht, lads, had ye gobs, I'll tell yez all an awful story. Wisht, lads, had ye gobs, and I'll tell ye about the war. Now Lambton felt inclined to go on to fight in foreign wars, and he joined a band of knights that cared for neither wounds nor scalps. And off he went to Palestine, where queer things him befell, and he very soon forgot about the queer woman in the well. Wisht, lads, had ye gobs, I'll tell yez all an awful story. Wisht, lads, had ye gobs, and I'll tell ye about the war. But the worm got fat and growed in awful size. He had great big teeth, a great big gob, and great big goggly eyes. And when at nights he crawled about to pick up bits of news, if he felt dry along the road, he'd milk a dozen cows. Wisht, lads, had ye gobs, I'll tell yez all an awful story. Wisht, lads, had ye gobs, and I'll tell ye about the war. This fearful worm would often feed on calves and lambs and sheep, and swallow little bairns alive as they lay down to sleep. And when he'd eaten all he could and he had had his fill, he crawled away and lapped his tail 10 times round Bencher Hill. Wisht, lads, had ye gobs, I'll tell yez all an awful story. Wisht, lads, had ye gobs, and I'll tell ye about the war. Now news of this most awful worm and its queer goings on soon crossed the seas and reached the ears of brave and bold Sir John. So Yemi came and he catched the beast and he cut him in 3 halves, and that soon stopped him eating bairns and sheep and lambs and calves. Wisht, lads, had ye gobs, I'll tell yez all an awful story. Wisht, lads, had ye gobs, and I'll tell ye about the war. So now you know how all the folk on both sides of the weir lost lots of sheep and lots of sleep and lived in mortal fear. So let's have one to brave Sir John, who saved the bairns from harm, saved cows and calves by making halves of the famous Lambton Worm. No, lads, I'll had me gob, that's all I know about the story of Sir John's clever job with the awful Lambton Worm.